me, Jermaine Callando, and where this podcast is about our sexualities, the LGBTQ issues, and so much more, dating and so much more. This week we're going to be talking about coming out stories, and starting on for that, do you want to start with your coming out story?
Well, since you're the older of the two, let's start with you.
Okay. I'm 32, 25, and we look the same age technically because black don't crack. We're black men. That's why we can say that line. I didn't have to come out. So it's funny. I didn't have to do all that. My coming out story is more like me growing into me as a person. Like I Googled porn. I knew what porn was since 8. So I've probably been watching porn since that time. And I got caught with porn when I was 13. And they were like, I've been asked, hey. Huh?
Was it gay porn?
Not at 8.
Oh, okay.
At 8 it was like Cinemax. It was Cinemax, so it was a lot of straight porn. So for me personally, I was more curious what the men had downstairs and women had downstairs because I pretty much saw the woman's anatomy more. And then at 13, I learned how to find stuff. So this sounds bad, but I was just watching porn for a long time. And then I got caught red-handed, and then most of my family found out that I was watching porn. And I kept getting asking me, I've been asked this since I was for a young age, are you gay? And it's a very questionable thing. But yeah, so I didn't start having sex until I was 22. So technically I didn't know until then, personally speaking. I always consider myself like curious because even though I've never had sex with a woman, and I'm still curious, but I'm more and more, I just accept the fact that I'm looking for a guy, and that's pretty much mainly it. That's not that much. Yeah, and I didn't have that many issues with my immediate family. I do think that I have parts of my family that still may have issues with the homosexuality as an issue, but my dad and my mom, they don't find it as a problem or anything. I'm very much loved. I'm lucky because I guess I've been like easing them, and then we've been kind of easing this situation the whole time. And like, it's funny that they accept me as who I am, but I've never like brought anyone to my house or anything. But that's not because of the gay thing. That's because my brother had brought so many people that were like, fading memories.
Well, for me, my coming out story is a little different. So
yes, it would be because being bisexual means there's a lot more, intricacies.
So my coming out story. Well, the first time I ever messed around with a dude was when we were both like 12 or 13.
Okay. So, curiosity.
So we were actually just messing around with each other, doing little stupid boy things. And that was the first time I recognized that I might be into guys.
Yeah.
So I didn't technically come out until I was 23.
Oh.
So
that's a big jump.
Yeah. So there's a full 10 years. It was enough time me figuring out what I liked and coming out, but I actually started having sex with guys. Well, for girls it was 14, but for guys it was 18.
Okay. So, do you with it coming out, how do you feel everyone took it for yourself?
The first person I came out to was my mom.
Okay. How'd she take it?
She treated me no different. Like, my mom is amazing. She just accepts me for who I am.
Isn't that beautiful?
And didn't judge me or didn't put me down or anything like that. So then I eventually, I was going to come out to my aunt, but what happened was my mom actually beat me to the punch.
That's normally what happens.
So
don't you hate it when your family does that? You be like, "This is my story. I'm gonna tell everybody."
And I was literally walking by her room and overheard her talking to my aunt about my sexuality. So I just kind of barged in and was like, "Really?
This is how you feel?
Really?
This is what we doing?"
This is so my aunt knows, and if they've known since I was like 23.
Yeah.
But I recently came out to my uncle.
Oh.
He did not know, but he had his inklings. But you know, when you're in the closet, people kind of know already.
That's the worst thing about the whole closet thing, is that we have to tell you it's a coming out process. And that's the worst thing, because people know, and then people kind of was like, well, I saw my nephew. He looked at that boy a little long. I saw my nephew. He looked at that girl a little long. And for you, it'll be more like, he confused me because he kept kissing all these people. Not saying that happened, but
well, see, I would never. I still don't. I don't really bring people around my family that I'm dating because for me, if you meet my family, then
permanent.
No, you better buckle up because this is a long-term thing.
Yeah, that's kind of that's the thing with me as well. Like the whole coming out process, it's not so much that like I had to come out. It's like if I add someone to my life, all right, well, how my family's going to add them? Because I don't need someone. I don't want to add someone, and then they're like, well, where is he? I did this once with my friend, like years ago. We were friends for a long period of time, everything like that, and then we stopped being friends. It's like 4 years ago, and like we're not friends anymore for at least 2 more years. They were like, where is she at? Where is she at? Now imagine that being your dude and y'all had a bad breakup and you didn't really want to tell them the details because you know you still have brought them around and everything. And now you gotta be like, oh, where's Jacob? Where's Jacob? Where is Jacob? We miss Jacob. He was so nice for you. And it's like the hardest thing because you may miss Jacob, but look, it's not long term no more. And also it's like family. We gotta move on from Jacob.
Yeah, and for me, I'm just not gonna bring you around until I know you're in this for the long haul.
Yeah.
So, but to wrap up my coming out story, everybody knows pretty much in my family now.
Yeah, that's good.
So, yeah, that's pretty much it.
That's cool. How do you feel being bisexual? We discussed this a little bit on the first episode, but how do you feel being bisexual opposed to being gay in the LGBTQIA spectrum?
When it comes to that, there's a lot of people who say, "Oh, you're just going through a phase, or you're just greedy, or you just want the best of both worlds." So for me, my experience with that is that I I've only encountered one person that was totally like, "Oh my God, you're bisexual. No, I want you. Blah blah. You're gonna cheat on me and all that."
Mm-hmm.
So
how do you feel when that happened?
Nothing really, because it was just like, well,
it was a jerk. It was a jerk back. Like, really? That's how you feel?
No, it was not even that. It was kind of like, okay, well, the hell with you.
Okay, so if you identify as bisexual, compared to coming out, do you feel like you are as supported in the LGBTQ spectrum?
No.
Why is that?
Because, like I was saying once again, bisexuals are like the redhead stepchild of the LGBT community.
Why do you feel that way?
because of the way we're treated, like we're just um and actually this year I recently I recently started going to an
LGBTQIA plus.
plus bisexual group,
Yeah.
and it was really good, you know, because of COVID. We haven't been able to meet up or anything lately,
Yeah.
but it was a really good section. So, it was a really good session for me, just talking to other bisexuals and hearing their stories and hearing their their different experiences.
Yeah. I think the bisexuality is I think it's amazing. It's just like it's a very complex. It has the complexities that being gay doesn't, because it's a lot of loss of attraction and attraction of both sexes. So it's kind of like communications when it comes to it being not really into. I feel like a lot of people have a fear for it because a lot of people get hurt from the from the gay spectrum and from the lesbian spectrum, from bisexual men and bisexual women or bisexual trans people, because it's a talked about situation. We always over talk about it, but like, well, look at you. You just with us for the weekend, and then you just gonna be with your straight people. Or you consider yourself queer, but you're gonna be only queer until you get married to that woman, to that man, to that queer, to that person. And it's funny how it's a lot of more. It's a fear still along the lines of people coming out as bisexual, whereas people come out as gay, people come out as non-binary, or people come out as lesbian, and they're like, okay, well, they just chose the one.
Yeah, that's more accepted.
Yeah, it's funny that it's more accepted. It is also more accepted to be pansexual than bisexual.
I don't know how I don't know about that one.
It's a very different thing because pansexual means almost completely somewhat the same as bisexuality. It's just more about the individual. It's just they say, I love the individual, this individual. And more pan people, it's a very confusing thing because people think it's just one person. But some people, I think it's like a connection of people that they're being panned with. Like it's like multiple people you can have relationships with, which isn't everybody. But I feel as though I have a lot of bisexual encounters, and I had to learn to let the whole fear of them cheating on me with a woman go. And having been cheated, I've never been cheated on. Honestly, it's really funny because I've never had a full relationship. I've had only situationships.
Well, as a bisexual, trust me, it's more likely that they'll cheat on you with another man, another woman.
But not everybody's the same. I guess we'll need to take a break, and sorry for that.
And we're back. So,
yes, we are.
How do you feel about being gay versus me being bi?
That's an interesting question. It's very different. I just love men, so it's a different thing as a feeling because I can understand. I naturally have a very strong understanding of people because I'm a person, and also I've learned to communicate, and also I've been around straight people. I've been around straight men and straight women almost all my life, so I've always heard of their attraction to men and women. So I've never thought less of someone being bisexual. I never thought like it was an issue or anything. I I don't know, being gay is so different though. Cause it's like a different it's really funny because it's becoming so much more normal. Like it's a lot of normacies along with being gay, and that we're still doing something so clearly different.
If you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain. It's free. There's creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you so you can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more. You can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place.
Being gay is interesting because I'm me, and I think that's why a lot of people don't want to defy their sexuality a lot more nowadays, because it's like, well, this is who I am as a person, and it's like the whole coming out process is a whole to do. Whereas people knew at a younger age, like people knew that I was gay before I knew I was gay, and I didn't really think of me being gay was as like an issue. I just knew that like I wanted a man. And I never thought of myself as like the sexual, like I never put myself in the box of roles. Like the man that, the person that can cook and clean and do this and other one, go outside and earn a living. That doesn't really come across my mind as a man. I just think of me with another man and us both choosing to work. I always wanted to do my passion. So I always wanted to attract someone that had their own passion. I have a very boisterous personality, so I never, I never thought too much about what will I need from a man. It's like masculine energy, feminine energy. It's a lot of like put downs among people, especially being gay.
And that's what I was going to ask you about. So, how do you feel about the whole masculine versus feminine?
Oh, we'll do that first. Okay. I think it's younger me. I prefer masculine men. As older as I get, I've learned never to care. I had to learn to take people as they are, because feminine men do exist, and so does masculine men. There are a lot of masculine men that watch a lot of things that people consider feminine, and I think it comes from society's programming you as a person, and people saying, well, this is like, it's a very weird rule book where they're like, do you watch sports? Well, that's masculine. What kind of sports do you watch? Is football ranked you as like the biggest thing? And not only sports, it's like, do you drink beer? That's masculine. You drink whiskey? That's masculine. And it's not truly.
Margaritas in
that's feminine. So. You watch soccer. You watch like fashion. You like fashion. You like watching. You like being around women all the time. Oh, that's feminine. And it's like, no. There are feminine men that could be around men all the time and won't feel no difference of being around women. It's a funny thing because I naturally sometimes get told that I'm feminine unless you get to know me, and you're just like, oh, he's masculine. But it's also like just what you put out in the world, because not knowing me, you're just like, okay, well, who is this person? And then like, if you see my facial gestures, I guess I have a gay face. Apparently, I naturally, some people look at me, they're like, oh, he's gay. And there's some people that look at me and just saying, oh, he's just an attractive Black man. And that's a weird thing, because it's not like I like ever say, ooh, we wearing loud colors. Being Black and being gay is such a different spectrum upon each other, because I can wear loud colors. And it's like, truly loud colors works with Black people, because we've always tried our best to be different. We've put the breast, like we could wear pink, we could wear pastels as people. Being a gay man, I can wear anything I want.
Well, just going back to the whole masculine feminine thing. Yeah, as a society, we are told that this is what masculinity looks like, and this is what femininity looks like.
Yeah.
Blah blah blah. Me personally, I prefer more traditionally masculine men, which that sounds a little problematic in itself.
It's weird to say that it's problematic, because the weird thing is that it's still attraction. Because if you're attracted to a very a masculine energy about another man, that's okay. If you're attracted to a feminine energy within a man, that's okay. Men and women both have. That's the thing about the spectrum of the LGBTQIA plus, because sometimes people will say like I'm non-binary because they're like I look feminine and I look androgyny. I look like there's androgyny. Like if I shaved my beard for a long time, I looked like I was a female. And it's not that it's my fault. It's just naturally I have chubby cheeks and I look like my mom or I look like my dad. So I've learned to.
If I shave my beard,
Mhm.
I look like lesbian version of my mom.
See, and that's the thing about non-binary people is that they've embraced their, inner both energies. So to me, it's natural for a lot of people. It's also because it's idolized. When you're growing up, your idols, most parents, especially in a Black home, most of them wanted your idols to be more masculine energies and more masculine men. You will never see someone say, "You want to be a fashion designer? You want to be a singer?" Compared to being a rapper, compared to being,
I remember. Now I grew up with a cousin. Um, well, a female cousin, and she would play with Barbies all the time.
Yeah.
And she would force me to play Barbies with her. And I remember growing up, if I would play Barbies with her, I would get comments, "Why are you playing Barbies?" and blah blah blah.
Yeah, and the weird part about it is that that's the spectrum that now people don't realize. I play with Barbies. I actually used to steal Barbies when I was a kid too. I had so many whoopings. As a Black person, you get little whoopings, or you get little taps.
So my whole thing is, if I didn't play Barbies with her, I would get in trouble for not playing with her.
Yeah, isn't that odd?
Yeah.
And the weird part about it is that, like,